So let's spend for just a second, if you can, on the writing process.
Yeah.
So it's 4 years in the making, and I'm assuming you've got the series going on. So just as like you got R&D that goes into a project, sometimes for years, and there's no guarantee of success, but then you actually create a foundation, you launch a product, and then you're off to the races because you know what you're doing, you've created a
It's true.
framework,
Yeah.
and it's just go code. So so how did you get from the idea of faith that popped into your head in 21 to the finished book that's launching today? And then how are you going to take what you've learned and put it
Yeah.
into books 2, and I'm assuming 3? You got a whole faith series that's
I
in your
do.
head, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's outlined too. I have strong plans for at least two, and I have the ending written down too, by the way. When I was when I was in high school, I was working at a Walden Books, a bookstore in the mall, and I was stocking the shelves with a hardcover of Robert Jordan's third book in the Wheel of Time, and I'd listened to him on the radio in the car on the way to work, and somebody they interview him and says, "So is this like Lord of the Rings? Is this a trilogy?" And Jordan goes, "Oh no, a trilogy? No, I could write these forever." And I was just like, "Oh man!" When I found that out, I'm like, ah. And then, of course, there's like 15 books, right? And he didn't even live long enough to. Brandon Sanderson had to finish them for him. Bless him. But I only read through book 5 because my favorite character wasn't mentioned in book 5, Perrin, the wolf boy, and I gave up. But I never liked the idea that the author doesn't know the end. So I actually do know the end of Faith Faraday's adventures, and I've written it down. So if anything were ever to happen to me, I've told my son he has to at least publish something so people will know the ending of the story, right? So there's my promise to any future fans I have. You can
Same
go.
here. I know the exact scene of the ending of Lover's Guide to the Infiniverse. I know
Nice.
exactly
Hopefully it
and
involves,
that's where I'm
smoking.
headed. That's where I'm headed. Yeah.
It's a good cigarette after that. That's what it is.
Right, right.
Uh, so anyway, I actually started writing the first scene, not really knowing who Faith was exactly. And she was called Chase Turing, and she had a different profession entirely. And I wrote this scene that focused around pretty exotic technology, and it was fun. And I finished it, and I liked it. But then I got to know her, and she was evolved into a different direction. And I ended up renaming her into Faith Faraday and gave her a different profession and continued the story. And through discovery, I think when I figured out the hope angle and the sister, the twin sister who dies and the spaceship and everything, then I started to get a hook onto how it would end. And then I knew how the first book would end, and I just continued to write. I have a day job. I only write on the weekends. And I use voice to text mapped to a button on my mouse. I press a button on my mouse and talk, and words appear immediately. This is not dictation where you talk and then later on you see it. It's like the words are typing themselves out, and then I edit them. There's mistakes all the time, of course. You even used the term pseudo sentience earlier. Uh, I said that, and it did sudo sentience, which is a computer command to elevate a process up to be self-administrating.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's a mistake. And then I was like, well, is it? And then I made an article on Substack about AIs elevating themselves to sentience, and I called it pseudo sentience with sudo. So I turned a typo into a thing. It was
Yeah, I
fun.
love that. I love
So
those.
the little moments of serendipity and kismet, and I got it. I thought I finished the last chapter July of 24. I posted on Substack. Whenever I have an idea, I post it to Substack as a in-universe article to give myself a little timestamp of when I thought of it. Uh, I hate the idea of all these ideas not seeing the world until the book is published. I want to
Same here.
let
I
them
love
out.
barfing it out. I barf
Yeah.
as much content as I can,
So
and it
then I was like,
feels good.
it
I
does.
exist. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And nobody sees it. Horton hears a who for sure.